Lord. Why am I doing this to myself? Oh no, my failure. I got no bitches, man. I ain't got no bitches. Oh no. Okay. That seems the show's recording the whole time. Hi guys, how you guys doing? Nothing weird happened here. Uh, just a fantastic day being here. How are you guys doing? You know, how's everybody doing? Yes, I'm bald. Before I had hair. You know, let's just say I made some mistakes. Um, I messed up the fade on one side of my hair, and I said, "Hey, I believe I can fix this." The funny thing was that this side was just a little bit short. I was like, shoot, I think I can save this. Then I went to the other side, and everything was uneven. And you know this kind of thing where you keep touching, going back and forth until when it gets to the point where there's nothing you can do and you just accept that the fact that your hair is fucked. Yeah, I just went bald. But unlike most people, I can pull it off. But yeah, 4 months. That was how long it took me to upload another video. To be quite honest, I didn't even know that I was actually gonna be back here. I had kind of like just accepted, like, hey, fuck me, I guess. You know, I'm gonna just sit this shit out, and that's gonna be the end of it. If you can see, like, the setup is a little bit different. No longer do I have like the mic that for some odd reason gave me shit. What was it? Shit quality was a lot better, and now I'm just recording on my phone. You know, it's just a lot different, and I think maybe the major thing that just kind of like put into perspective for me was just like, yo, I was trying too hard. I was. When you build a brand or when you're doing like social media and things like that, most people are not coming here for you to be like, oh, hey guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Nigga, I didn't grow up in Canada. I grew up in Lagos, Nigeria, bro. I grew up middle class. Middle class. You know, I'm not gonna be one of those people who's like, I started from nothing. I was out here. People were out here throwing away their poop. I was eating that shit. Pun intended. That's not how I grew up. I grew up middle class. I went to private school all my life. You know, I think, yeah, even the universities that I went to were private. I never had to experience like that public school lifestyle, and it's kind of different from the Western world. To be quite honest, the way things are with school and things of that sort. I always had access to like food in my stomach. I always had a choice. And that's just one of the things that I've just been kind of grateful about because now I can come back to this and I can talk. You know, I don't have to try as hard. And I think that's one of the major things a lot of people kind of lose sight of when you're creating content. Everybody thinks you have to create this kind of like persona and be like, oh, hey guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today, we're going to do something amazing, guys. Uh, just a little reminder. Uh, I grew up in Nigeria, guys, so it's a little bit different. I remember all those things. Like, nah, fuck that, bro. Like, even now, I feel kind of cringy for doing that shit, to be quite honest. And I'm not like that. This is me. Literally, I'm just me. I eat pizza, but for some odd reason, yeah, nigga, yeah, horseshoe. I'm that kind of guy, you know. And one of the major reasons why I kind of like stopped content was simply just because I didn't like what I was doing, you know. And it's this kind of cycle of being appreciated. I didn't feel like I was appreciated, even though I didn't really produce anything that was mind blowing. You know, I'm just one guy talking to a camera. This, like, literally. But once you go into this mindset of like, oh, everybody should look at me because I'm doing my hardest. I mean, yeah, you might be doing your hardest, but that's not anything. You know, what value are you adding? That's why one of the craziest discoveries that I would really say discoveries is one of the role models now that haven't actually made me want to come back was is not was is this creator called Suburb Baby. He got invited or he got accepted into streaming university, the Kaizenat streaming university thing. And for a long time, even before he even originally did like the collab with him, Enzo, um, I was watching this guy. You know, his skits were funny. And it's this kind of thing where, okay, yeah, you follow somebody and it's like, it's funny skits. You know, yes, I'm dick riding. So if he ever sees this, shit, yeah, I want to collab. Niggas Nigerian, you don't know what could happen. But yeah, the thing is this: looking at him and the way he kind of like progressed. Of course, I'm not out here sitting down watching streams every single day. I have a job, you know. That sounds mean. Not necessarily like I have a job. It's just like I'm not doing that, you know. But I keep up with the clips, you know. I follow the guy on Instagram, and it's this kind of thing where like, yo, he's out here pushing out content. I even remember the time when he stopped. He released a video saying like, "Yo, he quit. He's done with this because it didn't really he wasn't really progressing as much as he thought he would." And keep in mind, at this point in time, I think he had like 500K, or even like he had a lot of subscribers. You like even on Instagram and YouTube. So for him to say all that, he was like, "Yeah, he's just tired." It just kind of rung to my head. I was like, "Damn, this nigga's onto something." You know, he's out here streaming every day. You know, he's going crazy, and it's fun. And but that's genuinely how this nigga might be. And the reason why I say might be is because I don't know who this nigga is. You know, I'm not parasocial like some people. I don't know who he is. I've never met this guy like face to face. I go based off of his content. If I like the content, I mess with it. It is what it is, you know. But a lot of people think like, oh my god, I know this guy just because you're watching clips. Nah. But the thing that really made me stick around for this guy's content was the fact that even after he quit, he kind of realized like, yo, maybe the money stopped coming. Let's be honest. Maybe the money stopped coming. And nigga was like, oh shit, I already like my digital footprint is already kind of like fucked, man. Let's all just go back. You know, because he had the following. But it could have just been like burnout. But look at him now. You know, not only was he named like MVP for like the streaming universe, and that was deserved. You know, some clips I might be seeing, I didn't really care for it. You know, literally the only reason why I was upset I tuned in was because of him. Genuinely. You know, him, Shank, Enzo. I stand with my Nigerian brothers. Let's be honest. I stand with my Nigerian brothers. But Suburb Baby, crazy. Crazy. Because if you kept up with his journey, this nigga just started off like writing skits, acting out skits with like his friend, and it's funny. You know, now they gave him a platform and he's able to like produce better and better content. Some people might argue and be like, hey, that like the content is ass or whatever. But you have to understand the content that he's creating serves a purpose. It entertains people. There's a reason why he had like 100K viewers concurrently at a point. Yes, I'm dick riding again. But there's a reason why these things are here. Not because of like, oh, it was like, oh, I'm special. Like, of course, the guy is special because he obviously has a talent for this thing. You don't go into this thing being like, oh, yeah. Some people, they don't even have the talent for it. Some people, they just want to get to that point where, okay, like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. You feel me? So that is the mindset that you have to go into when you're doing content. And I wasn't in that mindset. I was legit just doing this thing because I thought it was like, okay, yeah, it's cool. But after a month, and to be quite honest, can't be lazy. I was lazy. I was inconsistent. Videos. I have video ideas. At one point, I recorded some videos. I deleted them because I didn't really like them. Even going based off of the way I do my videos, a lot of my videos are I set up a camera. There's rarely any jump cuts. I start and I finish. And that is my style of doing it. A lot of people might be like, oh, but viewer retention and shit like that. Okay. If y'all niggas don't retain your attention, that seems like a problem. Now I'm just joking, but not really. It kind of stops people from opening their mind to a lot of different things. And that was where I was. That was where I was. I completely just said, you know what, yeah, I'm just ditch this. And I did. And I kind of regretted it afterwards because I was like, yo, I really did enjoy doing this thing. There's a reason why there's like 30 something videos. And even though the editing is ass, I do it myself. You know, it's fun. But genuinely, it just kind of spoke to me like, hey, if you really want to do this, and also I was taking inspiration from some of my friends, email. He has a fashion brand. Not only does he do fashion, he also has like films that he has worked on. Oh, you all go stream Omofu, go stream it. It's crazy. You see these niggas, they put in their life and their soul on like to this thing. Some people might look at it and it's like, oh, this doesn't make any sense. It's not gonna make you any money. But it's just that passion. Some people they didn't know they were gonna make the NBA. Some people didn't know they were gonna make the NFL. Some people they didn't even know they were gonna even be rich and famous actors. They did it because they genuinely liked it. And that's just the thing. If you're going into anything, be it content creation, be it your work, be it becoming a doctor, go into it 100%. It's not gonna be easy. Nothing good ever comes easy. But trust me, it's worth it at the end of the day. At least, even if you don't even hit it, your goal, you tried. Heaven knows, like this year, it probably won't even go nowhere. But at least I can look back and be like, hey, I did that, and it'll be nice. I won't have any regrets. But yeah, you guys, stay safe out there. You know, the next video I'm probably going to be doing, I'm going to do a little bit more research just so it seems it's going to hit us hard as daddy needs it to. But yeah, just let me know. I love you guys. You guys should stay safe. Um, Go Spain. I'll see you guys next time.